Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. We're getting close to reaching the major goal, the single major goal of this Prussian series. We are less than 300 piety away from getting to Pagan Reformation, the Baltic Reformation. Fortunately, the spring has come around the corner, so I know what to do. But first things first, well, there's that damn disease over in my homeland, which I moved the capital away from here to Rizhev. It's temporary. But I did not want to be there at court because I'm already suffering from cancer, a mild cancer at that, with good treatments and whatnot. But I just don't want to be dead on that conscience when we were so close from reaching that ultimate goal. And, well, hold on. Excuse me. Now, one thing's for certain, as I often say in many of my videos, I just stuttered a little, that once we have this faith reformed, then who knows what kind of doctrines that I would pick, because again, in the history of me playing Crusader Kings over the years, I've never done a Pagan Reformation before. And this is why I did this series here in Prussia in the first place, because I thought doing a Baltic Reformation would be easy, because of its location, such as here, here, there, another one way over there, another way down there. So, we have all 5 holy sites under one flag, the Prussian flag that is, but we still have not reformed the faith because we don't have enough piety yet. That's why I've been taking up a theology focus for quite a while. Even though my piety gain is a bit hindered due to reading the Necronomicon, which I gotta stop reading that crap. Where is it? Yeah, stop reading that drivel. So that way I can get a bit more piety gain. And don't forget to raid your neighbors. I mean, I'm still a good fighter, but who are we afraid of? Just raid them next. And yes, we are neighbors with the Byzantine Empire, which they're currently in revolt. And we're trying to improve relations with them, just to see if it'll be enough to have a non-aggression pact. But we'll get there eventually. Just to make sure they don't attack us ever. Speaking of that, she wrote me back informing that she's been taking notice of my interest in friendship and creates vividly. Wonderful. I'll tell her opinion's high enough, then we'll go for non-aggression. Expand it again. For the sacrifice. Just raid these areas to get a little bit of money. Also, this coming May, the Uskavenes Festival. Remember that. We have enough money for it, so we shall begin preparations of it immediately. Everybody can come unless somebody isn't Uralic or Slavic pagans that still live among us. We know what the ceremony is like, so take that, Lazinines. Who are you to doubt me of my ambition? Let's drink together. Because I know some vassals don't look at me highly, but Having a festival like this would help improve relations. Except for this one rival who's a complete jackass. That disease would soon be going away. Even though I can't move back to my capital. But the only way to do that is to give this county away to somebody. Preferably a loyal Prussian. That's 100 piety. Less than 200 to go now. I like to joke around with Znaya Dragovich when she gets angry. And we start fighting around a friendly manner. Today she woke up that and all my body hurts. She is very strong. You know what they say? Even though she was of a Russian origin, Russia makes you strong. Look at her. Perceptive, tall, and strong. I really, really, really want her to be betrothed or marry my son here when he grows up. That is why she's in house arrest and educating her. I knew there was something about her. A perceptive, tall, strong, old Prussian Baltic. I don't know why I said old, but she's one of us now, despite her Russian roots. Might as well. We always need a loyalist. You can handle it, I hope. Through the valleys. When I fell asleep, I traveled to the land of dreams. I found myself on a vast hill of the greenest grass, overlooking a great lake surrounding a mighty city. Below the hill was an ancient marble shrine, while behind me was a small cottage beside a forest, where the birds whistled and the trees whispered, comfort in my ear. I rested a while before I decided to, just pick any. I'll just enter the cottage and relax. I had told Zeno to stay at home, but just as I finished purchasing my gift, I turned around to see him trying to hide it from me. The surprise is ruined. I'll grab by here and have a serious talk. Didn't react well to my way of correcting his behavior. I fear he's even more suspicious towards me now. Worrying. They finished their revolt. It's gonna take a long time for them to build up. Even though technically we're kind of are at their strength, but it would not be wise to ride against the raid. The ride and then raid Byzantium. Because they would bring the whole armies over here and they would crush us. But that's the reason why I am a firm belief that it would be best that she would, whether we would be friends, allies, all that. Despite the fact that I am homely and tiny, even though you're in your 50s. Yeah, I almost yawned, because to be honest, I've been doing this series for quite a while, despite the fact I was off and on, and slightly exhausted. That's why I'm like, can't wait to reform this great Baltic faith of ours. It's a major goal that I want done. And keep in mind, this was recorded prior to this beginning of yet another CK2 HIP series that's coming up. And I can tell you this right now. The series will be set in India, one of my favorite regions historically, based on my knowledge and knowing the history of it. Everyone knows I've spent several years directing the work on my book, when today I'm presented with a final product. Excellent, I commend my scribes while gently leaf through the sword and buckler manual. I'm just glad we finished it before I left this earthly realm. If I left this realm. This manuscript instructs and describes Old Prussian swordsmanship in detail with comprehensive step-by-step illustrations. So, you have to be either a duelist or a hunter or a strategist, and have a martial education. So one of these. So basically, if you have this book, you have to be a military man or woman to be reading this sort of thing if you want to improve your combat skills. And nobody knows combat better than Kunkite the Brute. But honestly, it would be Runkim the Horse Geldar who would know all about it, since he was the duelist and the founder of that brilliant blood line. Butchery and fishery in Nadruvia. Great. Let's beat him up. I, during a battle, catch sight of a pale woman who suddenly looks like my wife, Greniva. Well, then she is struck down, and suddenly I'm pushing soldiers on the way, hurrying over to her. I saw her fall. I know it's not evil, but I cannot help myself. Free piety. We must remember to tend to our wounded. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Please get rid of Craven. Well, here's your chance. My troops are performing with excellence, and my chest is swelling with pride as we creep, pressing forward. I turn back to answer the call of a soldier nearby when suddenly there's a sharp pain in my hand, gritting my teeth. I hear the enemy shouting, "Stay down, you foul jester!" 80% chance you'd lose Craven. I could beat him right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I'll accept any injury, even if it protects Prussia. I no longer fear the world. I embrace and feel safe. I've lost the Craven trait. Lost it. Yes. Just what I want. Now, if only I was humble, that would be more piety gain. But I think it would be best to raid them. Why are you stammering like a goof? And yes, I've dreamt a cozy cottage. Inside, fresh and warm food like chewy bread, crisp vegetables, crumbly cheeses, a small fire burned by the fireplace, and a few rugs and chairs are kept as simple decoration alongside a soft, inviting bed. If I was a slothful character, I would have really liked it. I just thought of something else in my mind, but that would not be said here. It's just something that relates to me personally. A funny thought. But the thought is that it has nothing to do with Crusader Kings. Actually, turn that around, since this way. Many find it odd that a king works in the fields, but tending to the land and crops make me feel closer to Zemna. more so than any prayer. As I take a short break, I notice the priestess, Batulin, approaching. I agree to exchange some words about the harvest. Turns out she's also the follower of Zemna. Well, doesn't everybody else? And she also dreamt of something. Flower meadows. The forest was cleared for agriculture on Orlik, but it's mostly wilderness outside of that. Well, we should talk some more. Still doing religious studies. I'm a family man too. We have all these lodge commanders, or there's room for one more. You're in. Let's see what you got, kid. And also, to be honest, during this particular recording as you are watching this episode, yes, I am slightly tired because I haven't really gotten much in the way of, I don't know, let's just say my sleeping hours are a bit right there. Let's just say I'm the kind of person who stays up late and wakes up late. I'm trying to fix my sleeping schedule, but the weather out there, as of this recording, is not letting me so. So do not worry about me. As the local leaders of Pogostania state their complaints, I take notes and write a list to diligently address those concerns in due time. It always pays off to have a plain conversation with people with direct knowledge of the issues at hand. I might not agree with everything, but at least those who will talk to me will understand their opinion matters and things get ultimately done. I value competence above all. Now it's Serene. She's in the sea. Going for Crimea. Oh dear. They really want to establish their presence there. Make use of my mush training in order to swear to my cause. There you go. Now don't get scurvy. Oh, he's not going to take care of that. We're going to have to withdraw. We'll have to raid this some other time. Food poisoning. Is anybody plotting against me? Aha! But my spouse approached me claiming that she nurtured a dream for a long time. That dream was to start a great voyage into unknown lands to discover new cultures, customs, and religions. To my surprise, she wants to travel to the faraway lands of Wali Bakar of Aswan. Aswan, Egypt. Wow, that's far. From Prussia to Egypt. That's quite a place to be thinking. So I don't know if I should just reconsider the whole endeavor because she is quite useful to me. Now, if I want her to go, the outcome of the voyage depends on many factors, among them and related to my spouse. Unfortunately, she's of a learning education, so she's not Midas touch, she's not greedy, not administrator, not shrewd. She is not diligent. Lack of stewardship education goes down. She is, not charitable, not kind, not dim, nor slow. You get the idea. She doesn't have a diplomacy education, so she doesn't have agreements. She's not temperate, not gregarious. She has a very high opinion of me because, you know, love her. Doesn't have an intrigue education, but she is deceitful. And cruel. Oh. But she has a learning education, we know that. Mastermind theologian, high learning skill. She is quick. Sexual compatibility with visited character. Lover, of course. As far as I haven't seen any trait that relates to patience. Does not have a much education. Again, I'm going to let her go for this one. Don't want to talk her out of it, otherwise it'll make me look weak. But as the status of women in my realm are not very developed, and I'm allowing my wife's significant freedoms, I look weak among my court and vassals. Losing opinion of all adult male characters and lose some prestige for the same reason. I don't care, you're free to go. Just go to wherever you want. To Aswan, Egypt? Good. You need to go out and see the world. I think my rival finally died. I feel the power of the wood flowing through my veins as I snarl at the enemy commander, visibly starting him. Surrender, he shouts. I'm Vashata of Law's Peasant Revolt. The man's words are cut short by my weapon cutting through his throat. Gee, I could become kind immediately. As if I need to be more virtuous than ever. I'll just say, haha, I will mount your head on my fortress walls. You done killed them all. Now get back to where you were raiding earlier. This way. Told you my rival died. Oh dear. What happened to you? You're one-eyed, disfigured, one hand. I'm surprised you're not even one-legged, and you would have a pet parrot for this. Figuring you are in Venom, you know? Clearly you've been through a lot of... The enemy of my enemy is my friend. That's all I gotta say about that. Is that them revolting again? Oh crap. That person died. Oh no, that's the leader of revolt, dummy. And made yet another friend. Alright, look, it would be nice just to have a non-aggression pact with Byzantine Empire. We don't need an alliance, because I think it'll be more trouble than it's worth. Okay, so... she's perceptive, she's tall, she's strong, but she's a bit homely. Well, that's just, I don't know, life in prison is what it could do to you. It's like, yeah, she's tall, she's strong, but she's not that good looking. I need the piety, so burn it. I don't care what crime he has committed. The best teacher is failure. Really the man for the job. It's 2 wars within the country that are having rivalry wars. I was gonna die and blaze me for it. Less than 100 now. Burn this one too. It's surprising that you could find many apostates during these times. 50 piety. Really close now. And it looks like it's going to be on this very auspicious year of 930. Is when we will reform that pagan faith. Now the real question is, what kind of, we're going to do? And also, I really want to get back to my old capital. She's blessed with a muscular, imposing physical appearance. She's burly, so significant rugged physical strength, which is hidden. But it's good to know. Told you, future shield maiden right here. Again, she went to Aswan. Gotta take down this barony, this bishopric, and then this city. There's plenty of money in that. Just these two. A conversion of Germaniac Lokan. What the hell? It's converted to the Catholic faith that was sent by the King of England. That's the titular title, isn't it? Yes. Norse Gaelic. And they've gone Catholic. Which is a faith in decline. But nonetheless. I like that coat of arms. Kind of makes me think about a future playthrough of another minority culture somewhere. A precious prize. One day, when I was almost giving up despair, my Adva appeared before me. Her expedition of faraway lands concluded. After a warm embrace, she told me of a gift from afar, an artifact of considerable power that will be kept closely guarded in the family across many generations. Such magnificent beauty. A new valuable artifact will be added to my vault once I dismiss it. Go check it then. A golden sword. Here it is. I already have a ceremonial weapon and an obsidian axe. What's the difference? Monthly prestige 30. Monthly prestige 20. That's nice to know. And you know, Aswan to itself is the lands of Nubia. And Nubia used to be the land of gold, said by the days of the ancient Egyptians. So one would think that this golden sword of an unknown date must have been dated back to the time of ancient Egypt or ancient Nubia. Now just get these two. Finish it. What? Oh, it's time to worship my ancestors. You're 8 years old. I mean, I'm aware that the religion can be reformed, but I want to finish, you know, this raid first, then we'll go back home, and then we'll reform it. But it's time to worship the ancestors, and I know what I'm going to wish for. I've decided to visit the shrine in a holy grove and make it a sacrifice in honor of my ancestors, hoping for their aid in return. What will I ask my forefathers? A long, healthy life, because I want my ancestors to help me get rid of my cancer. For this occasion, ask my ancestors for health and longevity. Now it's time to present your offering. What will I give them in return? This tiny, dull Polish woman. May this soul serve you well in the afterlife. Even though, if I were to try this option, to offer one of my body parts, it's a guaranteed success. This one's got a pretty good chance of, you know, getting what you want. That's what I've learned recently about every time I do these. Worship the ancestors when you're a pagan. Because if you pick this option, that's just the highest chance of success of whatever good graces that you'll get. Anything like this low, well, it's a small chance of success, and sometimes may give you a bad thing or very little of anything bad or good at all. But since I suffer from cancer and I wish to have a long, healthy life, why on earth would I want to offer my eye? Although I'll still be good enough to fight in combat as I'm no longer a craven, but the timing of it. Just do it. I'll offer them my eye when I turn 59. The offering struggled violently when the Vulva and her disciples pushed it down an offering stone. The ancestors will surely be pleased with such a vigorous servant. All I could do is wait and hope. May the ancestors bestow their blessings upon me. Now let's raid this city, and we're going to get out of here. And these damn Bahari raiders. Bahari? I don't know if that's the correct question. Oh no, she's been disposed. Well, who leads the country now? The mule, they call him. Who's 59. I am sick, I know I am. Yet my physician's been struck dumb by how much energy I seem to possess. In the face of anguish I should be going through, I want to say that the ancestors know myself, but I'm not sure anyone will believe me. Perhaps my positive attitude? I no longer have cancer. Oh, thank my ancestors, Rune Kim, and Kunkite the diplomat, and every one of those forefathers. See, this is why you gotta have these offerings like these when you do a pagan playthrough. Whereas I don't do too many of those. Because the last time I was ever a pagan of anything was Slavic. Bosnia. Yeah. Bosnia. Great country to play. But now I lost cancer. Now I'm very healthy and very fertile, despite my advanced age at 50. And we got a great duelist to serve under us. Now I'm happy as heck. Burn that city to the ground too. Fight one more battle against these raiders. These Avar raiders. So yeah, had my ancestors to help me beat my cancer. Now I feel like I can be ready to take on the world. And looks like here's that chance now. Sviatoslav. He's likely to surrender. I'll chase all the planes went out this he said. I'll take it from the Lord. Clearly swinging this moment. Well, how chivalrous. You got him severely injured. Your money's not good here. And neither is you. And neither... Oh yeah, we captured this criminal. And neither is him. Victory! Sorry to raise my voice. I'm just so excited that I kicked out of cancer. Now, who wants to be the steward? Take me back to Zambia. You men, one of you is going to be rewarded. Going to be rewarded with land. Rizhev is yours. But I'm doing this just to simply put the capital back to, well, not Kiev. Coastal flooding and river flooding. Okay, Kiev is not the place to be then. I just want to move it back to Prussia proper. You can have Kiev too. God dang it. Plus, I never really invested in these areas because they are war-ruined. She's my definer. And all that. Here's a stupid idea. I know it's all tribal, but remember that one theocratic vassal there? Why is that one feudal? I don't know how that came to being. They never reformed the Brolic faith. How about we get a theocratic vassal of our own? You hold Zesk. Piety granted. I just got more piety just for making her a theocratic vassal. Well, it is in traditional old Prussian land. Well, even though that one's old Prussia too, but does it really like I care? I just want to be back in the traditional Prussian territories. That's just relatively close to the capital that I want to be in. Also means I gotta invest in this. And you want to tell me to focus on carousing? Oh heck yes. Let's do that. It's been a long time since I properly celebrated a great victory, or invited my fellow warriors over a feast. What's the point of accomplishing such legendary feats if they are not remembered and honored? Let the festivities begin. Which again, just wanted to build all these things just to show that that we are a very defensible country and we will take crap from nobody. We won't take crap from anybody. This is a way of saying well, you know what I mean, alright? Now, anyways, it's on the 17th of November, 9:30. This will be the year that this faith will be reformed. So here's the default that they've given me. Or what it looks like. Unyielding. Here's the Baltic special, Defender of Devas. The religious head can decide upon dead ancestors to give special status. Enables eldership, successional. Health and attribute penalties from disease are reduced. Provinces of this religion without high-level hospitals are still protected from depopulation from disease. Characters perform a rite of passage upon reaching adulthood. That's very good. And that makes unyielding unnecessary. Because this is kind of like what this is for, right? But it says great holy wars are not allowed. do we really need that? Because if you try to Great Holy War somebody, it's going to be wars of a massive scale. Can you imagine if a religious head were to tell us to fight against Byzantium, and we would be in big trouble. Or even the Holy Roman Empire. And we're kind of used to, you know, expanding how I want to expand, without the religious head telling me what to do. So, the Baltic faith basically is more of a defensive religion, a very, very defensive one. So this is why it's well suited. I'm going to leave it at that because of the eldership succession law, and the veneration of the ancestors, that's ancestor worship in combination with this. This is great. And I'm kind of not sure about this one. But stronger when defending their home territories, even though we're not in a position to be invaded by somebody else. Religious tax is unnecessary. We can make money by other means. Resources and raids. So I would change that. Heir designation is allowed is unnecessary because eldership succession, the elders will choose who the successor is. And if I were to sway the elders, they'll pick whoever I want to be the next ruler of Prussia. That's how it works. Again, I've never done this before, but I've done some reading and seen some people who did Pagan Reformation playthroughs. Like, I've seen a guy who's done Germanic, and I've seen another who's done African. And would you believe that my very first playthrough on Holy Fury, which would later be Bosnia, even though we started off Slavic Pagan, but never thought about Pagan Reformation and became Catholic, my original plan was to be Finland. And I would have done a Pagan Reformation on that one as the Sumenesko or Uralic religion. Because Finland was a bit of a passion project of mine along with Prussia, so you may never know, in the future playthrough I might do Finland, even though I think a couple of people have already done that. Anyways. To me, this is a kind of a must-have, at least to me. Characters are assigned zodiac traits on birth and by decision, and grants access to the Hermetic Society, because if you have a high learning character, well, what's good of it as a pagan if you're not going to apply your trait for high learning? That's what Hermetic Society is for. So that's highly considered. Equality sounds nice. So it's just kind of like Buddhism in a way. Even though we do make a lot of sacrifices, but I don't think we are that bloodthirsty. Not like those guys up north. And ships can navigate through major rivers, which I think we already had that ability, because apparently Kiev is a seaport and a major river by that. What's that river called? Right by Kiev? Dnieper. Mercantile. 2 base stewardship of provinces. This religion always prospered if they had a trade post. If you were going to be a pagan faith, preferably Germanic, who are often seabound, and your country is on the verge of becoming a strong merchant republic, this would be for it. Christian, Muslim, syncretism, unnecessary. Even though you can intermarry, but in the Dark Ages mod, you can do negotiated alliances with any country, so there's no point in that. Pyramid creation is just a bit out there. Unrelenting is what you're thinking of. And we can't do Ancestor Veneration because Defenders of Devas, which is way better than this one. Because, you know, you get the best of both. Mazdan syncretism and Eastern syncretism. I didn't know these two existed. I guess it must have been added through the HIP or Dark Ages mods, one of them, when doing a Pagan Reformation playthrough, which Mazdans and Easterns too far away from where we live. Unless you are doing a Pagan Reformation playthrough as a boon or Zunist Pagan. That's where it would come to mind. Which honestly, I don't think it works for them either, because, especially if you're a boon pagan, where boon pagans are allowed to intermarry with Nestorian Christians and Zoroastrians. But for us here, too far away. And if there were any Zunist pagans, and which again, I think the Eastern syncretism would work for them. So, again, keeping this, because it's a Baltic specialty, likely go for astrology. But for all of this, I mean, unyielding sounds great, which makes it resistant to prolythizing, so nobody can, so no heathen can convert to or import one of their foreign faiths into our country. And it's stronger when defending home territories, which I think the case is stronger because we are bordered with the Byzantine Empire. And if hostilities were to break out between us and Byzantium, unyielding would be great. So making all of this, even warmongering, unnecessary. Maybe. If you want to have great holy wars, but they're not allowed. But I don't think there is a need for great holy wars, whereas I prefer to manage my own wars and rather than let some religious head, go fight off in some random war that I never done any harm to. Except for maybe raids, but for money, but never full-on conquest. Hierocratic, which is a priest is put in charge. So basically it's like the papacy. Either that or I will be the secular religious head, or autocephalous priests, which is like Orthodox Christianity. Autonomous followers of this religion can preferred branch, similar to the Eastern faiths like Hindu, Jain, and Buddhism. So, High Priest, which again, will not have Great Holy War. Even though if you were to have a Great Holy War, there is a perk, however, a trait, however, that you can pick up when you fight in the front lines. And does that mean whoever, went to the Great Holy War, we get to expand our territory? And a route to empire? So I might reconsider. I wouldn't say warmongering, nor peaceful, because I don't want that rulers lose peace in my conscience. Oh, this religion does not allow marriage with infidel rulers. Waging war against members of their own faith lose fighting. Oof. But great holy wars are allowed. And though we are already resistant to prolythizing because of this thing here. No. You're thinking of unyielding again. So I'm kind of torn between prolythizing or dogmatic. But missionary work where we can send our diviner to other countries around the world if they wish to join this newly reformed Baltic faith. And thus there will be more Baltic members. And that also increases the strength when we wage great holy wars against whoever what the priest says. Oh boy. The base moral authority will be high, which would be good. Because, you know, we don't want the old Baltic heresies running around here. Again, kind of torn between the two. These two don't want. That's to me. I mean, everybody has their own personal preferences when they reform a pagan faith. But I'm only doing this based on my experiences from many playthroughs and my playstyle and all that I've used over the years. Since I am often I would describe as slow and methodic and practical. That's how I would describe myself. Because I believe in practicality over ideals. I think I'll go for, you know, dogmatic. Which, again, if you wage war with any other people who are Baltic, you'll lose piety for this, as a way of punishment. Just to say, fighting amongst us will be discouraged. There is only one word, only one correct interpretation of our scriptures, only one way to please the gods. And defenders of Deimos. Which again, this will allow great holy wars. And astrology for the Hermetic Society and zodiac traits. So, we must stand to survive the assaults of the new religions. Only the best among us will survive to preserve the memory of the gods. Astrology. The gods wrote fate in the stars. We'll need to look up to know what lies within us. But, I'm not sure. I mean, we can do... Although I did say I would rather be the one who starts wars rather than have some priest to tell us what to do. It does not have dogmatic ignorance discrimination. Okay, the very first pagan playthrough that no. The very first pagan reformation I saw during my Bosnian playthrough, one was Germanic, who still retained most of its characteristics, and also astrology, and was temporal. The African reformation that happened in that same playthrough, they took to the more of not having religion, that became more autonomous. And can decide upon dead ancestors give special status. Father? But when you mix these up with something, then, you know what? Go for temporal. I will be the religious head here. So yes, we are presented with a unique opportunity to reshape our faith forever. Must be careful on the path we set on, since it says once a new dogma of our religion has been established, it will be impossible to change. Many learned priests and scholars have traveled to my court in order to discuss all sorts of theological matters in an attempt to codify a complete and solid interpretation of our old oral traditions. Yet, being the one who made this reformation possible in the first place, it would be only fair if I gave my own opinion on the nature, doctrine, and leadership of our new religion. So, we're dogmatic, and that's our nature. Our doctrine is defender of the devas, and the astrology. And the leadership will be temporal. Secular and spiritual powers are extremely bound. It is pointless to divide them between two offices. It's a wonder how this man, who is tiny, but brawny, sure he may have a short man complex, but damn it, he's the one who reformed the faith. Let's do this. We kicked out a lot of people out of their temples. With the new scriptures and traditions in place, the newly appointed head of the Roman faith was presented me with a branch he claims to come from the world tree itself, for I have ensured the survival of my pagan faith. For the Roman faith. it's become known as Removan instead of Reformed Baltic. The Removan Reformation. The ancient Removan religion is proving unable to withstand the onslaught of the Cross and the Moon. Rather than abandoning the old ways, High Priest Kunkite and the most powerful priests have decided to reform the Removan faith in order to ensure the preservation of their ancient customs. Firmly under the leadership of a holy high priest, the Removan faith has developed a series of well-defined rituals and a full list of deities to combat the proselytizing efforts of its neighbors. This event could mark the beginning of a new era of pagan revivalism all throughout Europe and spell doom from the Abrahamic usurpers. Vadivas. Yes, a high priest now. Get this off. Have a little respect. Branch of the World Tree is what I've received. Where is it? Oh, look at this. Mystic Crown. Get this off. Look at me now. In fact, look at the barber shop. Go to it real quick. Mystic Crown is what I'm wearing now. Now that's a look of a high priest. Now, the branch of the World Tree. Here it is. A branch for the fabled World Tree that carries the world. Monthly prestige up, no piety, a little bit more learning, same religion opinion up, and reduced retinue maintenance cost. I guess I made the right call. Yes. Replacing this old crown and got this one instead, which I failed to look that up. The branched crown worn by the Deva's divine representative on Earth. Prestige piety up, +1 intrigue, +1 stewardship, tribal vassal up. This artifact will always remain with the holder of its associated title or dynasty. And I am the high priest of the Omova congregation. See? It says it right here. You'll be its successor. +1 in all skills and a health for the Reformed Removan faith. Which again, part of HIP, because I don't remember seeing the stats up like that before. So the high god is Devas, and that only. Scripture is the legend. Yes. Everything else is maintained. It's hard to convert, which just stays true to what we are. I can designate heirs, and hard to convert. I could designate heirs. I mean, not to this one, because it's still agnatic, elective Gavelkind, but as long as we don't want vassals fighting each other. This is why eldership is a must-have, at least to me. We do have Defender of the Devas over Ancestor Veneration, Totem Guardians, Children of Perun, or African Faith, so which you start off with eldership, but the Baltic Faith does not. In the regular vanilla version, if you are playing as the Removan Faith, you start with eldership. In this version here in HIP, it does not. You have to work for it. And that's been a challenge. But now all I gotta say, hey, you and your rivalry wars, stop fighting each other. Stop it right now. Have peace. There'll be peace in our time. No fighting. No fighting, alright? If it's a foreign war, fine. But I say to you, no fighting. You know, if I had my druthers, I would enforce realm peace. But I would just tell them personally, like, hey, you stop fighting. We're having a reformation right now. Now keep in mind, it's not widespread yet. Not even our old homeland. That it's still... the old gods are still with them. So in this case... they call you the thin-minded. Well, get to work. Well, I encourage him to stop fighting. Refused to end a war. After making proper calculations, I determined that I was born under the sign of the Leo, a constellation commonly associated with fervor and pride. Truly, the stars know my heart. Here it is. This character was born under the sign of Leo, which is commonly associated with fervor and pride. Originally developed by the Babylonians, astrology was later adopted by the Greeks and Romans of ancient times. While a fairly well-established science, its popularity always tended to wane and rise periodically. Marshal up. I guess it does fit who he is. He's born under the sign of Leo because he is born on a July. That's it. Enforce realm peace right here, right now. They're all for it. There will be no fighting because we want to introduce eldership here. You got 7 months to finish your stuff, or we're gonna finish it for you. There'll be no infighting between us. Sure, some of them must still have the old gods, but we must stick together. If we didn't, we would be lost. You've become burly. Nice. Okay, you finished your war. Alright. The oldest and wisest members of the tribe are given authority to determine a proper successor amongst the members of the current ruling dynasty in Clemens title. As long as the elders are satisfied with my leadership, they will tend to favor my candidate. If the elders are displeased, they might pick a candidate that is not of my liking. Now it's a Removan eldership. Now the real question is, what do the elders say? We'll hear it in a month. I don't get to pick or who to vote. Who my successor will be. It's up to the elders now. Volmir gets an old way shrine now. Wish this was to go back to Serene. Now, what do the elders say? I mean, I only have one successor, so they're all going to say that for him. Here are your elders. I was about to say, you're the elder? There's the shaman and diviner. And there's the other shaman. Are you sure these are the elders? They're all... Well, I support it too. I'm the one who votes for it. Because technically I'm the high priest around here. So does that make me an elder? That doesn't mean you're supposed to be over 50. Swaying your elders is a good option. But... So this brings the whole new meaning of respect your fucking elders. He's the only child right now, and he's the only son. He's the only candidate I got. This would prevent the realm from being partitioned. That's the reason why I have a preference for eldership succession. Now we need to save a lot of prestige. If I live long enough, which is doubtful. I may have beaten cancer, but Father Time does not rest. He doesn't lay down for anybody. So, don't spend any prestige at all. Not even buildings. Yeah, they are elder. See? Pleased elder. Ecstatic. I am the ruler. So this is an ecstatic elder. Will always vote for a candidate picked by the current ruler and offer occasional support. The pleased elder. This says we'll be inclined to vote for a candidate picked by the ruler. Otherwise, pick a good member from this dynasty. And here's the other pleased one. There you have it. Now we gotta start converting the provinces. Now it's time to arm wrestle. He's of the old Baltic faith, which is now a heresy to us. Don't be too hard on yourself. I wouldn't say... What sort of weakling are you? Because I'm trying to be nice here. Now, keep in mind, if I ever want to do a great holy war, I don't have the ability to do that. But I have the ability to do holy wars, but not great holy wars. I don't have that ability yet because we have not reached that time period where it says Wrath of the Old Gods. And the Baltic Holy Order has not been formed yet. It has to come in on its own. So we'll guess we'll have to wait at a later time. But do keep reading the neighbors, raiding the neighbors, and all that, for the time being. What does Byzantium think of me now as a reformed pagan? Well, he likes it because we just have things in common, that's all. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I've completed that single most major goal of this series. Now the realm is at peace. I'm sure some of them would probably want to kill me because we have, you know, reformed this faith, but there are still some people who are old Baltic. It was truly an honor to have you here for a while. Until you like me well enough, we'll consider non-aggression pact between us. Decided to put aside his Lithuanian culture and dump the language and customs of the old Prussian culture. Tengrist Ugr became Orthodox Christian. Titular title. Yep. They're going to slowly come around now. There will be an understanding. And I just noticed that, I got rid of Electrogalvokind and now the domain size is reduced. Which was deliberate when I was trying to put it back to Prussia proper. As at Merkel's, it's been all talk of cultured men recently. It appears they found a philosophical school to rival the ancients. Their thoughts on art, literature, and the government of man are truly remarkable. This Olomian philosophy will go far. It's truly a great day. Here's the Olomian philosophy. It's diplomacy +1. Truly a great day. I forgot that I have that territory. Oh, Byzantines in revolt again. Everybody likes me. Good to know. Wage war. Conquest. Against Sweden? Okay, we'll think about that, because that's a pretty major conflict that we may face in future. Well, what do you know? Future King of Sweden might become a Lappish Uralic. I think you may want to wait on that. I mean, we're at strength now. Well, mostly. But I think what you should do is build legend in preparation for this upcoming conflict with the Norse of Sweden. Increasing my choice of opponent. Well, thank you very much. Just looking. Ah, yes. Despite the fact that you are homely, but you're also groomed. Also, old Baltic faith, but I'm sure will come around, so make you deceitful. Remember, fortify those defenses, but you may want to save that for a few other things that you may never know that you could need. And also, if you are curious about zodiac signs and all that, for you folks who like to study star signs and all that, my real-life birthday is September 11th, and that means I was born under the sign of Virgo. Even though, me personally, I don't think of zodiac signs that much, it does not determine who I am, because, in part, I am playing as a character, Lord Master, because the things I do and say on those videos does not reflect who I am in real life. Now, the foul old Baltic heresy is spreading like wildfire in Scandinavia. As head of the true Movaith, I must take action to quote in the name of Davis. Well, since I'm a religious head around here, let's open a dialogue with the heretics. And keep in mind, we're all brothers here. It's just, you need to get in with the times, alright? Diplomacy and piety up, counts converted, and dogmatic also helps. Yikes. She's got a powerful voice. And a rat too. Okay, house arrest for you too. Good for her, bad for me. It's good to know that all the vassals are of the new faith. write a letter to him. It's probably going to take a while longer to be feudalized, because you need to have absolute tribal organization. And of course, when its successor is become the new, becomes the new King of Prussia and Livonia, he gets everything. And the removal congregation. The Fault in the Stars. Despite having consulted with some of the world's most respected diviners and having analyzed sightings from several realms, I have yet to come to a conclusion regarding the future of our world. The omens have been ambiguous and contradictory at every turn, and none of us have been able to give a clear interpretation of the message hidden in the heavens above. Being the High Priest, it is my duty to warn the notable Roman rulers that misfortune might be imminent. This is nothing but superstitious nonsense. That's bullshit. That's all I gotta say about that. But still, I'm happy to have a healthy son like him. High Chieftain of Prussia, are you nuts? Can usurp the High Chieftain Maturov if I wanted it to. Which, by the way, how much prestige is that if I were to do that? That's it? 31? But I need 1250. Yipe. So you're not going to spend it on buildings. But I think fighting a conquest war, which will happen in the next episode, will be a good option. So in other words, don't do any stupid decisions. And plus, there is a bonus if you do reach up to 1,000 prestige, because I still have that ambition active, which is good. Well, I gotta do something prestigious. And the chiefess is going to war. Oh, I know. Let's promote a debate. If I win, that is, there'll be some prestige to be added. Military debate in the council. Oh dear. Well, I'm a patient man, so I will debate it defensively. I looked coldly into my opponent's eyes and methodically diffused his arguments. I did this for a long time, always proving for a weakness in my opponent's reasoning. I always try to take advantage of the mistake to improve my position. Oh, I'm going to lose this one. Oh gosh, I've lost the debate. Now I owe that man a favor. Last. Go raid something. Take your frustrations out on something. Get you some quick prestige. You idiot! You idiot! I just called myself an idiot, which means idiot in another dialect of English. The titles you can create! That's the way to get a prestige up. Titles! All these chiefdoms are scattered around. Duchy of Totopet. Here it is. You'll have it. Because you live there. Then you fulfilled your ambition. I doubt I would be around by that time, but convert the province would be next, because we're trying to convert here. Well, let's make another duchy. Who holds Pskov? You know, you could have both. Peskov, Peskov, Peskov. You have it too. Now, the real question is, who will support? Everybody will support it. Excellent. Just one last piece of the puzzle. Hmm? Really? Well, you're of a revolt, so it's temporary, so you're not going to be around for long. Absolute tribal organization complete. Now, you can adopt feudalism at any given time, but it would be best to feudalize when, and only when, then you must find a strong ally. Even though Sweden is going to be one of them, because we're about to be at war with them, which will happen in the next episode. The Kunkite of Prussia, which is of a Mari origin. Oh, excuse me, this one. So, this one, nomadic. Kievs are often an enemy. These Polish here, I don't know. Because the key to, you know, to adopt feudalism, which means you're not going to have too much in a way of levies that them and your tribal vassals will provide, which can be problematic. It would be best to do it if you have a strong ally with you that can support you in case there's a bit of infighting around here when we adopt feudalism. And plus, at this advanced stage and the son who's not yet fully educated yet, timing is not going to be there, so it's not going to happen in this episode and possibly maybe not the next. But down the line, we will adopt feudalism and Prussia will one day be a strong nation. But keep in mind, we do not have a holy order, nor the ability to conduct great holy wars. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say. So we will cut this episode short right here. So that episode was all about the Pagan Reformation, which is the first time that I've done it. And I'm kind of happy and satisfied with the setting, with what I come up with. I mean, that's kind of like my ideal Reformed Pagan faith. I mean, everybody has their own personal preferences and tastes of what their ideal Reformed Pagan faith would be like. But for me, this is the one I picked based on my experience and what I would believe it would work best in the long run. At least for this particular faith and the geography of it, of where we are, in the relevant location in the rest of Europe and all that. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The Reformed Baltic faith is now known as the Reformation faith. Which, by the way, Reformation pagans still exist today. They mostly live in Lithuania. And they are a Reformed faith rather than a neo-pagan faith and such. They got their own high priest. Well, I believe as of this recording today, I believe it's ran by a high priestess now of the Reformation congregation today in Lithuania. I forgot her name, nor do I want to try to pronounce it, but I know it's ran by a high priestess. So yes, they're still around, and hope they're doing all right, based on, you know, circumstances of today's world, all around the world, with, you know, with that and everything. So we hope you people enjoyed this episode, and tune in tomorrow for the new series that will be coming, a new CK2 HIP series that will be coming up here on the Lore Master channel, and it's going to be set in India because I know a lot of history and culture there, so it's one of my favorite places to play there. So as for the Prussia series, I don't know if it'll continue or not, because I invested in my full interest in that Indian series now. So I did what I set out to do. Did my very first pagan Reformation playthrough, and I got it. With the Prussians, and all that. So we hope you've enjoyed this series as a whole of how it started and how it got to be all the way to 932 from then on. So, we hope you enjoyed it. But until then, so long for now.